Alright, welcome. Today we're going to dry can, using the heat process, the oven process, some dry foods. Today we're going to do rice. You could do beans, you could do anything that is a dried type food. The oven's preheated to 230 degrees, and what I did is I rinsed out these 5 cans that I'm going to use. And they're still a little damp, but we don't have to worry about that. We're going to take these 5 cans, we're going to place them in the oven now and let them dry off at 230 degrees. Alright, I removed one of the racks of the oven to make these a little easier to get in and out. But I'm going to take our cans, jars, put them in there, and we're going to let them dry. Now you want to make sure these don't have a lot of standing water in them. They'll just take longer to dry, but make sure that they are rinsed out well. It's got quite a bit in it. And you can place them in the oven. And that shouldn't take very long, 15-20 minutes, just until they're completely dry. Alright, I left these in here for about 15-20 minutes. Let's see if they're dry. It's nice and dry. Alright, the easiest way I've found to do this is to cut a small corner out of your bag of rice. Just a small hole in the corner. And then we'll pour it directly in. I have one of these funnels, but it won't fit in these smaller mouth jars, so it's going to be an interesting feat of whatever it would be called, acrobatics. With the camera in the way here, but let's see what we can do. See how bad of a mess we make. Now you gotta leave about a ½ inch in here. There needs to be some air room because you're counting on the air getting hot and then shrinking. The old ideal gas law. Ooh, those are still warm. Now if you fill them to the brim and shake them a little bit, I found that that's about perfect. So fill these up, and you are going to spill some. It's inevitable with rice. But one good thing about rice is it's very inexpensive. It's a great food to put back for a rainy day. And in this method it'll last quite a long time. You can see how that tends to go down, and these are pretty warm, so you might even let them cool off first. Really the only reason I needed to put them in the oven was to dry them after rinsing, so you could let them cool off. We're going to heat them again in a minute. It's inevitable, don't worry about it. Just do it somewhere where you can scoop it back up and clean up the mess. You are going to spill a little bit. You don't want to break your oven glass in the process here, but try to get it to where you have about a ½ inch. And if I do those on the countertop, it works a lot better than on the oven. So that's the process. And we'll just keep that up until we have them all full. Alright. The oven is preheated to 230. I'm going to go ahead and place our containers in the oven. Spaced out a little bit so that the air gets around them nicely. Alright, we'll set a timer for 1 hour and come back while I clean up the mess. Alright, it's time to get the jars out of the oven and see if we can get the lid sealed to them. Alright, we've got our 2 warm cans out. I'm going to use this little device I bought at Walmart. It's a canning magnet to retrieve the lid. Oop. And we'll put the lid on. Tighten it down. And make sure that you get most of the water off this lid just by shaking it off. You want it a little bit damp so that the seal works out good, closes nicely. One lid on. Okay. Just a little bit of moisture around the lip is what I'm going for. Could also use a damp rag. Okay, 2 lids on. And that's the process. So we'll keep it going here. Get the lids on the rest of these here. Just make sure they tighten down nice and tight. Everything should work out fine. Now, just as another word of caution, do not use this process for wet canning. It's not going to work with these old cans. They'll make a nice seal for this, and if they don't, you know, it's not the end of the world. But for wet canning, you definitely want to make sure you got a good seal because of botulism concerns. Definitely don't use old cans with old lids for wet canning. Very bad, dangerous idea. So, got one to go. This little magnet's nice to get these hot lids out of here. Phew. So you got to make sure that they all plink down, and if they do, then they're sealed. These all sealed nicely. They pull off, and they look like they're going to work good. If I have any problems in the future, we'll follow up. But thanks for watching, and give me a big thumbs up if you like the video, and subscribe if you like the channel.